Hello, everybody. How are you? As always, good to be here. Today is Thursday, 2nd of October. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. So, I'd like to start off on a very somber note, unfortunately, and that is to inform you of the passing of our brother, Marty DeGarmo. Unfortunately, he passed away yesterday at 3 p.m. In America. It is a very sad day indeed to have one of the most recognized people within our business, unfortunately, to pass. And certainly from myself and Jane, our sincere condolences to Dawn and the rest of the family over in the States at this very, very difficult time. And we send them all the best for this very difficult time. He was a huge part of this journey with this company, and he will be surely missed by so many. And it was very shocking news, really, to hear of his passing. Anyway, I'm sure that he would not want us to dwell on those kinds of things. He was a person that looked forward to the future always, and I know that he would want us all to do exactly that. And obviously, I'm sure everybody will be grieving in their own ways, but uh, there is an awful lot happening for us within this business at the moment moving forward. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about today. First off, then, updates as far as your ecosystem is concerned. There's nothing new there at the moment, but I do hope that you are logging in on a daily basis. That is where the information is going to be for what we have to do in the next stage. And if you remember back from the webinar we had with Ash Mufareh, he did actually say, didn't he, that he was hopeful and expectant that it would be in the early part of this month. So please, guys, keep an eye on your OES for any information of what we have to do to transition into victory with Ash. That's where the information is going to be. So keep your eyes peeled, and hopefully it will come very, very soon. I had a lot of feedback for yesterday's webinar that live that I did on here. Thank you for everyone out to me. It's always heartwarming, isn't it, to know that you are not only doing your best, but also that people appreciate what you do. And that just inspires me and gives me more energy to do even more. I was very lucky. It felt very easy yesterday actually talking to you because um, I had obviously the notes that our CEO Ash Mufareh gave to me that he wanted to relay to you guys. So it felt very easy and natural to be able to do that. And I want to expand on one of the things that he said yesterday, which to me resonated quite a lot, and hopefully it resonated with you guys. And that was we now have an identity once again. And this is something that I want to talk to you about and how it pertains to business, but also to us individually, of how having an identity really is something that until you lose it, you don't know how important having an identity is. Now, I'll tell you a little story. As you all know, I was in the army, and prior to being in the army, I was in the Scouts and the Cubs. So I'd always had this attraction, I suppose, of wanting to be part of um, something, part of a group or a team or identity, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. And when I left the army after 10 years, I felt that I'd lost my identity. I was just a civilian. I wasn't a squaddy or in the army anymore. I didn't wear a uniform and all the rest of it. And a part of me felt that I'd sort of lost something. I'd lost this identity. So when I went and started working for my father in his hotel in our village in South Shropshire, they had a fire station, a retained fire station where volunteers are trained as firemen to obviously drive the tender, put out fires, traffic accidents, and all the rest, and like real firemen do. But this was they were called retained, and I found myself being naturally drawn towards those people. Why? Because I was craving to be part of something, to have an identity once again. And obviously, I joined the fire service and I was there for 6 years and I absolutely loved it. And this is, I think, something that a lot of people are very similar to me. When they lose an identity of who they are, what they are part of, and all the rest of it, then it makes them feel almost empty, a bit naked, I suppose, because they're not part of something. One of the things that I've really felt has helped me on our journey in this business is the identity that we've had as a community and what the business model and what we are trying to achieve is trying to do. Now, when all that got paused, just over a year ago, September last year, a lot of us felt a bit, well, what are we going to do now? What do we talk about? What are we focusing on? What's happening? And where do I need to be and go and all the rest of it? And many of us, and I think a lot of you in the chat will say this as well, is that we actually turned and looked at each other within the community and we started to lean on each other as far as having that identity. Again, our identity was our strength as a community for keeping together, to wait and to look forward and find out what was happening and all the rest of it. Now, what's happened along and since then, and we got told this on the webinar a few days ago, is that we've got our identity back. And it's a good feeling. I now feel like I have that uniform back on again. I feel that I am part of something once again, that I've got a voice for a single thing, victory with Ash. I feel that I've got this banner back again that I can wave high up in the sky and sing it loud and proud. I've got that identity personally back again, because before I was sort of just willowing in the wind a little bit, sort of just bimbling along, actually not having a real strong purpose of what I need to focus on and where I am. Don't get me wrong, I've always had my goal in sight. I've always had this vision of where and what I want to try and achieve, but I didn't have the identity that was part of that in my mind. Now I've got it back again. And that is because our CEO, Ash Mufareh, has given us that identity once again by showing us the holding tank, as Chris says, the stadium, the bridge, which we are all going to go into, and then subsequently get all the information of the ultimate business where we're all going. This is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. That is my personal opinion of identity. But there's also a very good, strong point about identity, and especially new identity for business. And again, it really is interesting when you start analyzing and researching it, of why a new identity for business really is very important. And I'll go into that now for you guys. So establishing a new identity for a business involves a strategic process which can range from a light refresh to a complete overhaul and a successful revitalization of a company's image, re-engages its audience, and aligns the brand with its current values and goals. See where I'm going with this? See what I'm trying to say here? The ultimate goal has not been lost, but that refresh or complete overhaul, which we are having, it helps to revitalize a company's image. It re-engages not only the existing audience, but also helps to align with new audiences as well. And obviously, better values and goals along that. So, elements of a new identity go beyond simple logo change and affect all areas of business, and it presents itself in various manners. Obviously, the mission and values, re-evaluating a brand's core purpose and the principles that guide its decision. This mission explains why your business exists, and your values define how it behaves. Now, I am sure we will see when we are moving forward that this will be a key part of what we are all about. Those values, the the message of the company message itself. I believe that these are going to be core purposes and principles that we will all have to agree and adhere to moving forward. I'm sure they're going to be part and parcel of some of the questions we might see within when we click in the link to go through to be evaluated for success with Ash, because they are important not only to our CEO, but more importantly to the business. And I believe as well that is going to be part and parcel. That mission statement is going to be there, very bold for us all to see. Also, a thing called brand story. This is a craft of new narrative that explains why you started this business, what you're caring about, and how you are different from others. And sharing your story can create an emotional connection with customers. Again, this is, I believe, going to be very integral for us as a business. It's not just going to be about our products, services, and whatever else might be there. There's also going to be a lot more involved with that, and that is our narrative. Yes, we're going to have a mission statement, what we're going to try and achieve, and all the rest of it. But that narrative that explains why we are doing this business and what we care about and why we are different, again, will, in my opinion, be a big part of it. Also, target audience, research and creative buyer personas identify new customers, and a new identity should be built to resonate with and attract the right customers for your business, current and future direction. What's that mean in English? It basically means a new audience. This new identity, this change, this new vehicle is going to resonate with new people. Me and Chris have talked about this quite a lot, in fact, about fishing in the same pond. We need to find not a pond, we need to find an ocean, brand new ocean that we can all fish in individually so that we get a new catch. We've been in the same pond now for a very long time, and there's no point in having that mentality of thinking that the big fish in the pond are the ones that are going to do the best. You've heard the story many, many times. A fish will only grow to the size of the water that it is in. For us all to grow, we need to find a new sea, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times bigger than the one before, so that we can all grow to our full potential. And also, the ones that might have been bigger before might get surpassed by other people because they have got a fresh pond, a new sea to fish in, so that they can then expand. So you understand the narrative that I'm trying to tell you about having this new identity. It also gives you a competitive advantage. It helps you to analyze your competitors to identify gaps in the market and determine how your new identity can differentiate your brand from theirs. You can actually start by avoiding imitating others and focusing on what makes you unique whilst you are having and going through the process of this new identity. You've heard Ash talk about when you see what we're going to have, you're going to be absolutely gobsmacked. You're going to be amazed because it is brand new. It is something that nobody else is doing. And all these sort of things are exactly what this is saying. We've had a good look at our competitors. We know what they're already doing, and we are going to do something that is very different from what they are already doing. And this is going to, again, keep us well ahead with this new identity. There's also a visual element to having a new identity. Obviously, new logo. It's the most recognizable symbol of your brand or our brand, and it should be simple, scalable, and versatile enough so that it works across all marketing material. Also, the color palette of it. Select a new color scheme that reflects your brand's personality and evokes specific emotions. For example, blue can suggest trustworthiness, while green can imply growth. Typography. Choose fonts that align with your brand's style, whereas classics, moderns, or playful maintain consistency by using primary fonts for headings and another body type. But you can have other sorts of as well that might be a little bit different from others. Also, define a consistent style for all your visuals, including photographs, icons, and illustrations that ensure that every image used in your marketing materials feels like a cohesive part of your brand. I'm sure we're going to see all of this. When we go into Victory with Ash, we will notice and see this difference, this new branding, as you would, of what we are going to see. Is that the finished article? Who knows? I don't. But we're certainly going to see a difference in Victory with Ash than we did in our old business. Also, messaging and communication. Your brand voice. Decide on the tone and personality of your communications. Is your brand formal or casual, professional or humorous? This voice should be consistent across all the platforms and from your websites and social media posts. Again, we will wait and see which one star is it going to be? How is it going to be? And I'm sure this will be followed through in this new identity. Also, taglines. Develop a memorable slogan that reinforces your new message. It should be short, clear, and focusing on your unique benefit. We got that tagline. I told you all about it yesterday, didn't I? What our CEO wanted. What is it? Hashtag Victory with Ash. That is our new identity for the time being. That is where we're all going. That is our tagline. So how do you execute this new identity for the public. You need to access your current brand's strengths, weaknesses, and audience perception. This research will inform the strategic direction of your new identity. He's done that, hasn't he? Surveys, webinars, feedback, all of this is doing exactly that. That is brand.
My headset's just gone off. Anyway, guys, I didn't miss too much. It's at the end if you had. But interesting, no, to have identity. I think it's something that we all need. I think it's something that the business has needed for a long time. I think it's something that now that we have this identity, Victory with Ash, I think it is something that we should concentrate on, move forward with. And as I've said, keep your eyes open for the OES. I would sincerely like as many as possible to transition into Victory with Ash. But remember, it is a privilege to be there. It is not a given that everybody is going to make it. You have to answer the questions before and get verified so that you will be accepted into it. So keep an eye out in your OES for the link. That's where it's going to be any day. Any day it could be there. So keep on logging in, and you never know. It could be today, could be tomorrow, could be over the weekend, or even next week. Okay, but log in on a daily basis. Anyway, guys, that's it from me for today. I'll be back around tomorrow, bring something new to the table. Hope you're having a good Friday for tomorrow. Okay, apart from that, speak to you all very, very soon. Bye now.